أهلا بيكم وعودة مرة أخرى للقاءات مع الكتاب الأجانب، واللي كنا بدأناها بالكاتبة النمساوية ميلينا ميتشكو وروايتها سميته كرافاتا، والكاتب الهولندي الكبير هيرمان كوخ وحديثه عن رواياته الثلاثة المترجمين، وكلهم عن طريق دار العربي للنشر والتوزيع، واللي النهاردة بنتعاون معاهم مرة تانية ومع المركز الثقافي الهولندي. وكاتب آخر من نفس البلد تومي فيرينيجا وروايته جوي سبيدبوت صدرت ترجمتها سنة 2016 عن طريق محمد عثمان خليفة. بتدور الرواية في قرية لومارك الصغيرة المهمشة عن فتى عمره 14 سنة بيصاب بالشلل بعد حادث ودخوله في غيبوبة لمدة 200 يوم، لكنه وخلال تقدمه في حياته بيتغلب على الصعاب دي وبيحقق إنجازات مهمة، والسبب كان تجمع أصدقائه حواليه وظهور صبي حالم ومغامر اسمه جوي سبيدبوت، بيكون زعيمهم فوضوي وعبقري في الهندسة وبيبني طائرته الخاصة، وبيساعد كمان الفتى إنه يلعب رياضة مناسبة لوضعه الجديد. بتحاول الرواية إضافة بعد إنساني جديد للإعاقة بعيداً عن الشعارات والكليشيهات. إزاي تلاقي معنى جديد لحياتك حتى لو كانت صعبة وخلاص شايف إنها انتهت. الترجمة كانت مميزة من محمد عثمان خليفة اللي اعتمد على بعض العامية في الحوار، اللي أضفى على الرواية روح فكاهية وقربها أكتر للقارئ.
First, how would you like to introduce yourself to the Arab readers?
How to introduce yourself? That's a very difficult question. I am a writer from the Netherlands. I wanted to be a writer all my life, but I didn't dare to publish a novel before I was 27. Now I'm 53, and I'm much more daring than I was then. And I devoted my whole life to writing, which is a bit romantic, but on the other hand, it's the truth. So I am a writer. I lived a life which I imagined when I was 13. I thought that would be a wonderful life if you can live with the freedom of expression and the freedom of your mind and the freedom to invent everything you want. That was the perfect life for me. So I guess I got lucky.
What did you want to say in Joy Speedbot?
Joe Speedbot for me was a novel about the liveliness of youth. I really enjoyed writing that book. I was rather poor then. I lived alone in a shed outside of Amsterdam. And I had this idea about a boy who renamed himself Joe Speedbot, because that's not his real name, of course. And I sort of imagined everything that a boy named Joe Speedbot would invent and what he would do. And I wanted to create. You see, Holden Caulfield in from J.D. Salinger, he's quite a negative, sensitive, but a negative character. And I wanted to create something more positive. I wanted to recreate the force of life that youth can be. And Joe Speedbot for me is the symbol of that.
Yeah. Does every person have to find someone like Joy in his life?
That would be wonderful. If we all would meet a Joe Speedbot at a certain point in our lives, we would be much less afraid. We would be more daring. We would be more adventurous, and we would be more freedom-loving.
وبما إن الرواية جزء من أحداثها بيدور في مصر، كان لازم نسأله استمد المعلومات الواردة فيها منين؟
The information in the book about this Egyptian character is actually factual, and also about the building of the ship, the Egyptian sailing boat.
Yeah,
which I went to Komombo and then that, and I spent a whole day there, and I actually did quite a lot of research in Egypt, and I spent maybe 4 weeks. I went to Egypt much more often, but for this book, I did research for about 4 weeks in your beautiful country. full of adventures.
Yes.
I also went to the monastery of Saint Anthony.
Okay.
It's, off the road from Safarana, you go all the way. I hitchhiked there, and I had some great adventures there. So I am, for me, Egypt is a very important country for my imagination also, because miracles happen there all the time, every day.
الخوف والثقة العمياء المحركين الرئيسيين لعجلة التاريخ. انت في البداية تخاف، وبتكون جواك أفكار ومشاعر تلح عليك إن الشيء اللي بتطمح ليه مستحيل، ومشكلة إنها في الغالب بتكون صحيحة. ولكن انت عارف، محتاج تعرف المطلوب بالظبط، مش أكتر ولا أقل. المعرفة الزيادة عن الحد تخليك تخاف، والخوف شلل. في ناس تحقد عليك وتفضل تقول إنك ما تقدرش تعمل اللي انت عاوزه إلا بعد التدريب، ولكنهم بينسوا إن في حاجة اسمها موهبة. الموهبة هي اللي بنت المحرك.
When the novel was translated by an Egyptian publishing house, were you keen to know the Egyptian readers' reaction to the novel?
Oh yes, but I would have loved to meet Egyptian readers, and I would also have loved to know. I met the publisher, of course, and he was very enthusiastic. But for me, it's fantastic to be to bring the book back to where it originated from, because Papa Africa, he sails out of the book in his felucca, and now suddenly the book comes back to Egypt. So I was very happy to have a translation in Arab. So but I would have loved to meet some more readers from Egypt in order to see how they conceived the novel, what their ideas were, whether I had it right about the things I wrote down, if my research was right, for instance.
I am telling you that's completely right.
Oh, thank you. Shukran.
Did you become more comfortable in writing after the success of the novel, or you fear not repeating the same success of Joy's Speedbot?
Yes. That's an interesting question, because I wrote the book and I had at the time no readers whatsoever. I published 3 novels before, and they together had 700 readers. I mean, 700 copies were sold of these 3 novels. So when Joe's Speedbot came out, suddenly it was like an explosion, and the book became a success, which was wonderful for a writer to have a book which is a success, because suddenly you don't have to think about every penny you spend, but suddenly you can live off better wine, you can buy better beefsteak, things become more easy. But then again, it's also that the time in which I wrote this was quite unaware and hopeful and optimistic. To recreate that sense of I was unbeatable at the time, and now I'm writing, and I think I'm 53, isn't writing something for younger people, and so I'm having to conquer my younger self every time. But it's wonderful to be read, actually. I spent 10 years without readers, so life became actually a lot better. It's also nice to be translated.
Yeah.
To be translated is also fantastic, because suddenly you have conversations with you, for instance, and people you never saw before, and so it's great luxury to be read and translated.
Yeah. Okay.
So we also have to thank the translator for his work, because we authors, we thrive on translators, on their work, and it's silent work, and they do it apart from the world, and they usually don't get paid well. So I am very grateful to the translators.
Yeah. Tell us more about your novel that was nominated for the Man Booker International Prize, The Death of Murad Idrisi.
Ah, yes, that was the death of Murad Idrisi was. I published. It's a novella. I published it maybe 3 years ago. It's about a story I once heard about two Dutch Moroccan girls who went to their family in Morocco. They drove all the way from the Netherlands to Morocco, and then they on the way back they were forced into smuggling a boy with them in the trunk of their car, which happens a lot. If you go from Tangier to Algeciras, that's where the Gulf of where Gibraltar is. There's a lot of human trafficking going on there. And they sort of decided that it was safe enough. And then the boy in the back of their car, Murad Idrisi, he choked. He died in the trunk of their car. And suddenly they were in Spain, these Dutch Moroccan girls in Spain, with a corpse in the back of their car. This is a story which really happened. I went to the court case. I saw the girls. I interviewed them. I heard them talk about the incident, and I thought this is a story about everything which is going on nowadays.
وأخيرا سألناه عن روتين المؤلف خلال فترة الحظر، وهل ده ساهم في زيادة إنتاجيته ولا العكس؟
At first I was ecstatic. I thought this is everything a writer needs. There was this story going on. I don't know it's true. It's made up, but that Shakespeare, when the plague was going on, Shakespeare wrote 3 plays. And I thought, okay, well, if he can write 3 plays, then I surely can write 1 novel. I failed, because in the end I need interaction with other people. In the end I need hugs, and I need to be with friends and talk and shout and have fun. And isolation sort of makes me, it's like living in a treadmill for me in the end. Although I was very optimistic about it in the beginning, at the end it became harder and harder, and it also slowed down my writing. So I need the world in order to write. I cannot live in total seclusion in order to write.
Great. We are done.
Already?
It's last
already. Yeah.